The country is best known for its curious wildlife and curious use of the English language, but it also produces a fine wine and incredible gastronomy. This part of the land down under is Australia's best-kept secret. G'day, mate. I'm Leslie Roberts. Welcome to Travel in South Australia. Come join us as we explore renowned vineyards and get a taste of the famous outback.
Australia is located in the southern hemisphere and compares in size to the continental USA. It lies between the Indian and Pacific Oceans and is divided into 7 states. A number of international carriers fly to Australia from North America. If you have the time, Buenos Aires makes an interesting stopover en route to Sydney. Our destination today takes us to Australia's deep south. South Australia is the driest of the 7 states. It is also one of the most sparsely settled. Measuring approximately 1.5 times the size of Texas, it has within its borders a bit of everything that makes up the Australian continent. From lush green wine-growing valleys to the golden surfing beaches of the south and the vast broiling deserts. The rugged Flinders Ranges offer some of the most spectacular scenery in Australia, while the peculiar lunar landscape and subterranean lifestyle of Cooper Pedy resembles no other place on Earth. Yet it is as the country's premier grape-producing region, and in particular for the Barossa Valley, that South Australia is best known. Here also you'll find a profusion of wildlife unique to Australia.
There's an old saying that goes, good wine is made of the vineyard, and the Barossa Valley produces Australia's finest. It was settled by Germans, and today their descendants have kept that European heritage alive. In some parts, you could swear you were in the Rhine Valley.
An easy 1 hour's drive from Adelaide lands you in the heart of wine country. Here are rolling valleys dotted with picturesque towns, where shops and restaurants offer German specialties. Bakeries are brimming with strudel, and Lutheran churches abound. Whether you hike in with a backpack, travel by car, or visit with a coach tour, be prepared to spend some time. The area supports some 140 wineries and 50 cellar door sale outlets. Most offer tours, and you won't want to miss the tastings. Our tour of the Barossa Valley Winery starts in Tanunda at Bethany Wines.
It's appropriate that we begin in Bethany, where it all began in 1842, and Jeff Schrappel, it was your great-great-grandfather who was among the first settlers in the area.
That's right, yes, the 5th generation actually on the same vineyard.
Still running the family business. How many bottles would you produce in a year?
About 10,000 cases a year. That's from our own vineyards.
And I understand you've got some award-winning Shiraz.
Yes, the 92 Shiraz from Bethany got the National Wine Show, the best in Australia.
Great. Can we taste it?
Sure, you're more than welcome.
Perfect.
Some of the most spectacular views of the Barossa Valley are seen from Bethany Wines. Visitors are welcome to bring along a lunch and enjoy the picnic facilities. A perfect complement to your meal is one of the vineyard's special table wines or ports. And hang around a while. You just might find out the secret to an award-winning wine.
It's what happened in the vineyard that counts, and the wines were picked and offer old vines, traditionally pruned, and then attention to detail when you're making the wine in the tanks, and been in oak for 2 years. So it's really the fruit flavour that's most important. Very nice, yeah.
Here's to another award-winning year.
Till the next time.
Yes.
Bethany, a sleepy postcard-perfect hamlet, was the first German settlement in the valley. Quaint stone cottages still stand, including the charming Landhaus, which claims to be Australia's smallest motel, with romantic and cozy accommodations for just 2. Another historic structure is the Lutheran Church, still prominent in village life, and a popular gathering place for barbecues. The preferred beverage, of course, is wine. Our next stops will take us to the wineries of Rockford, St. Hallett, and Seppeltsfield. When planning your trip, be sure to schedule time to visit a few. Set amongst 19th century cottages and farm buildings, the Rockford wineries exude warmth and hospitality. This small winery specializes in traditional full-bodied wine and is open to the public 7 days a week from 11 to 5. Wine tasting here is fun and informal. Our discovery, however, was not only wine, but also the perfect accompaniment to it. An exquisite olive oil homemade by one of the staff. It is available at select arts and crafts stores in the area. At our next stop, the St. Halid Winery, I stocked up on gifts to take home, then settled in for the real work of taste testing some of the big, flavorful reds the winery is so well known for.
And once you've tasted the wine, you'll want to taste the food. How about a picnic? You can join ours. See what they've made for us today. Looks like pork.
What's twice?
Very nice.
You have a piece?
Please, at least one. I see there's more wine on the table too, folks.
Picnics and barbecues are a way of life in South Australia. You can order a picnic like ours by calling the winery ahead. The cost is $45 per couple.
The two wines that I've got on the table, we make oriented towards eating good food and drink.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you very much.
To the Barossa Valley. Fine food and wine. Can we stay?
The Seppeltsfield Winery is our last stop. Begun by Joseph Seppelt in 1851, it is the original jewel of the Barossa and Australia's most historic operational winery. Guided tours of the magnificent grounds and winemaking operations are available daily, as well as cellar door sales. If you're looking for that distinctive gift, you may very well find it here.
For the last century and a half, Seppeltsfield has been producing what is said to be Australia's finest port. You may want to take home a souvenir. A bottle from 1884, for example, will set you back a mere $2,500.
When the wine has been aged long enough in these wonderful casks here, it's then blended and the wine finishes up like this.
How is it?
Absolutely stunning wine.
Coming up next on Travel Travel, the Bungaree Sheep Station, 100 years old and still going strong.
Our trip through South Australia continues as we head towards the Clare Valley. When traveling to Australia, a valid passport and visitor's visa are required. The visa is free of charge. Voltage here is 240, and you'll require an adapter for the Australian 3-pin power outlet. Keep in mind, driving here is on the left, and being in the Southern Hemisphere, seasons are the opposite of North America. When leaving, every person 12 and over must pay a $20 departure tax, payable only in Australian currency. Make sure you have enough on hand.
The Clare Valley was named after Clare County in Ireland in honor of this region's first settlers. It too is fine wine country, although about a third the size of the Barossa. Wine production began here back in the 1850s with the arrival of the Jesuits who produced altar wine, and they continue to do so today.
Farther from the beaten track than the Barossa, the Clare Valley retains a quaint backcountry charm. And while wine is the main claim to fame, it is also heralded as one of Australia's leading merino sheep producers. It's easy to spend time here. There are some 23 wineries and a wide selection of accommodations, including a historic century-old mansion. At the heart of the valley is the town of Clare. The quaint streets and shops make an interesting stop before heading out of town to discover where Clare Valley winemaking began.
This is the original house the Jesuits settled in when they came from Austria. I'm doing the same work that the man who started this winery 144 years ago, and this is probably the only Jesuit winery now, commercial winery, left in the world. So being a Jesuit brother winemaker is rather unique as far as I'm concerned, and to live here is tremendous to follow on that history and tradition that the Jesuit brothers had.
Do you enjoy your wine, sir?
Very much so. And my work.
Good to hear about it.
Standing guard over the rolling hills and valleys of the magnificent Seven Hill Cellars property is the historic St. Alicia's Church, built by the Jesuits. Consecrated in 1875, it is one of the few churches in Australia to have a crypt. Visitors are welcome to tour the grounds and explore the century-old buildings. 1/4 of the wine made here is ultra wine, but the cellars are also renowned for their dry reds, whites, and fortifies. Just a few miles away is the Skilligalee Winery, a smaller, family-run operation. Schedule your stop here to allow time for lunch or afternoon tea at the adjacent restaurant. Housed in a 140-year-old settler's cottage, it boasts an international cuisine with farm-fresh ingredients. Veranda dining is available with beautiful views of the vineyards. And of course, the perfect complement to your meal is one of their award-winning wines.
What is it you suppose that has won you the award?
Well, I think this place produces extremely good Riesling fruit, nice lemon-lime characters, nice good acid, nice clean finish.
Can we taste it?
Sure, by all means.
The nearby Thorne Park Country House is a must-stop for discerning travelers. Built in the 1850s, it offers 6 beautifully appointed bedrooms. A fabulous collection of antique furniture and art decorate every room of this grand old homestead. Dining here is a gourmet experience with attention given to every detail. Daily rates, including breakfast, are $120 per person.
Operating much like it did 100 years ago, the Bungaree Sheep Station is a 4th-generation family business.
Just north of Clare, Bungaree Station was founded Christmas Day, 1841, when the Hawker family arrived with 2,000 sheep. The original stone buildings are still in use. A school built by the Hawkers for their workers, plus a church and store are open to visitors. Here at Bungaree, you can still experience the sheep station, once a dominant part of Australian life, much as it used to be.
The property has been divided with each generation, so obviously it's smaller, and other members of my family, my extended family, have farms which were once part of this. So,
And you have fewer sheep today, and fewer...
yes, because less area. We grow quite a few, cultivation crops, wheat, oats, things like that. Plus we run a lot of cattle.
Sally and George Hawker welcome bus tours to Bungaree, but also offer unique accommodations for a real Australian country experience. The shearers' quarters are bring-your-own dorm style at $12 a night. The heritage cottages at $30 adult, $15 children, with breakfast, are complete with kitchens. People and wildlife here are very friendly.
There you go.
And how much is this ring?
This is $15,000 ring.
$15,000, okay. Coming up next on Travel, we'll go shopping in Cooper Pedy, the opal capital of the world.
Approximately 500 miles north of Adelaide, on the edge of the outback, is Cooper Pedy. You can drive the Stewart Highway or fly in, as we did.
Cooper Pedy is the opal capital of the world, and its haunting scenery has caught the eye of movie producers. You may recognize it from Mad Max and the more recent Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. It's definitely one of the most intriguing places I've ever been. Where else does half the population make their home underground?
Cooper Pedy, meaning white man's hole in Aboriginal, opened with the discovery of opals in 1915. Today, the minefields extend some 30 miles, creating a bizarre, inhospitable landscape. The small community of 2,800 is a multicultural mosaic with 53 nationalities represented. This is reflected in the wide range of restaurants. Surprisingly, there is a remarkable absence of racial tension. And if things seem just a little quiet on the surface, it's because most people live underground in homes called dugouts. The well-stocked Tourist Information Center is a good first stop for the visitor. The most popular excursion, of course, is a trip to the opal mines. Because of the extreme danger of open shafts, access to the fields is not permitted without a guide. Trevor McLeod safely navigated me around the terrain for an up-close look. I was constantly warned never to walk backwards. The Yamuna Opal Mine and Museum in the center of town offers visitors a close-up look at a mine without the danger. Australia supplies 80% of the world's opal, and most of it comes right here from Coober Pedy. A variety of displays and artifacts tell the story of opal mining, along with live demonstrations. The best part, though, was the chance to explore the drives of a real opal mine.
So this was an actual working mine?
Yeah, dates back to about 1930. You can see some natural tunnels around here to the right.
It's great.
Goes back quite a long way, actually.
And they found a lot of opals in here?
This was apparently a very good level, best opal from this level. Here we have one of the old prospecting shafts.
Wow.
Estimated, put in about 1930. That was dug by hand, just using a pick and shovel, and would have taken about 4 or 5 weeks back then.
Great place to play hide and seek.
We might even lose the kids.
Yeah, perfect.
And then we have a couple of seams of opal. You can see they start here, run along to the left.
And this is the way they would find it when they were mining, as they came across
Exactly. This is exactly how it formed. Okay, you see the natural fault in the ground here. So when you open the liquid form, you filled up a section there.
After our tour, we visited the underground showrooms, where we learned about the complexities of the opal from gemologist Yanni.
This is the common white or milky opal, as we call it here in Coober Pedy. Then we have the crystal opal. You can see that the colors are brighter, and then we have the dark base opal.
Opals make stunning jewelry. Prices vary depending on the quality, brilliance, and clarity of stone. It's best to consult an expert before you buy.
We call it solid opal because it's just one piece. A doublet opal, it's a very thin slice of opal, supported from the back with a dark base. So the colors come up much stronger in the stone. The triplet, it's a very, very thin slice of opal with a black backing and a clear quartz to protect that very thin slice of opal. And the best opal perhaps would be the opal that you have all the colors of the rainbow with predominant red.
Looking for a good book? In Coober Pedy, you'll have to head underground again. Here in Coober Pedy, people even worship underground. The catacomb church was carved from an old dugout into the shape of a cross. The stark and simple surroundings reflect the harsh realities of life in an outback mining town. In sharp contrast are the decidedly Australian window displays. Next stop, a Coober Pedy home.
Does it take very much to get used to living underground?
Not really. I think if you spend some time, and particularly in summer, you get used to it very, very quickly. Just mind your step as you walk through here.
While underground, temperatures rarely exceed 78 degrees. Above ground temperatures in the summer can soar to a blistering 122. Another home we visited was our guide, Trevor's, which he shares with his wife and 2 sons. Even a famous cartoon family could find digs amongst the wide variety of motels and hotels available. He stayed at the Desert Cave, the world's only underground luxury hotel.
When they told me that I would be sleeping underground in the middle of the outback, I was a little leery. But I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of the accommodations. But at any time of the day, it can get dark. Very dark.
The ceiling and walls here are genuine cave with just a clear sealant to reduce dust. If you're looking for some action, the Desert Cave also has an underground shopping gallery, bar, and several restaurants. No, that wasn't a mirage. There really is a golf course here. Not quite on par with St. Andrews, but remember, this is the outback.
You've heard about the famous outback? Well, coming up next, we'll take you to the Australian wilderness.
Travel flew to Australia courtesy Aerolíneas Argentinas, offering convenient connections through Buenos Aires from North America with its transpolar services to Auckland, New Zealand and Sydney, Australia.
Our final stop in South Australia is a short drive north of Coober Pedy.
You can't come all the way to Australia without a visit to the famous outback. It's classic Aussie landscape. And out here, your only neighbors are sheep, emus, and kangaroos.
Interrupting the long sweep of desert outback is the Breakaways, a low range of exposed sandstone in stunning formations and soft earth colors. If there ever was a perfect spot for soulful meditation, it is here.
If you're spending any amount of time in the outback, there are some essentials you're going to need, like a hat to protect you from the hot sun, complete with a fly net, because at times the flies in the area can be quite annoying. And with the hat, because of the strong sun, you're also going to need some sunscreen. The stronger, the better. And dry climate, strong sun, of course, dehydration can be a real problem, so bring plenty of bottled water. And Trevor, should someone be driving through the outback, you have some tips.
Yes, of course. If you leave the main road, travelling on dirt roads, let someone know your travel plans. Carry plenty of water, a bit of extra fuel. If your vehicle happens to break down, get stuck somewhere, never leave the vehicle. It's easier to see a car from the air than it is a person.
How do you separate the sheep from the wild dogs known as dingoes here in Australia? Simple. You build a fence, a very long fence, a 6,000-mile fence running through 3 states. It looks like something out of an old Western. So different from wine country. And to think that we've only scratched the surface of what South Australia offers the visitor. The country's always been near the top of my travel wish list, and I can tell you that the state has made her country proud. The Aussies claim South Australia as their playground, and if you come to this part of the world, make it yours too. For Travel, I'm Leslie Roberts. See you later, mate.